Have you ever looked at a man and wondered, why does he act like he doesn't care when everything in his body language says he does? If so, you're exactly where you need to be. Because what I'm about to tell you will reveal a side of men that most people never see, not even the men themselves. Here's the truth. Men rarely hide their feelings because they don't feel anything. They hide their feelings because they feel too much, too deeply, too intensely, so intensely that they don't know what to do with it. And if you've noticed his mixed signals, the warm moments followed by the sudden distance, the way he remembers something small you said 2 weeks ago, but pretends it meant nothing to him, those aren't accidents. Those are emotional slip-ups, little cracks in the armor he's spent years building. In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 signs that prove you're not just someone he likes, you're someone he thinks about constantly, someone he's afraid to lose, someone he's secretly obsessed with, even if he hasn't said a single word about it. But before we dive in, I want you to take a moment and think about this. Men are taught from a young age to hold everything inside, to not appear too emotional, to never let a woman know when she has power over their heart. So when you show up in his life and trigger feelings he didn't expect, maybe even feelings he doesn't understand, his first instinct isn't to confess, it's to contain. That's why these signs you're about to learn are so important. They reveal the truth he won't say, can't say, or doesn't know how to say. Let's begin. When a man is secretly obsessed with you, one of the strongest signs isn't something he says, it's something he doesn't even realize he's doing. His attention snaps to you with an intensity he doesn't give to anyone else. This isn't the casual, polite kind of attention someone gives during a normal conversation. This is a deeper, more instinctive focus, almost like his entire awareness shifts in your direction the moment you appear. Watch what happens when you walk into a room he's already in. Even if he's talking, laughing, or busy with something else, there's a microsecond where his eyes dart to you. It's quick, subtle, but absolutely revealing. His body reacts before his mind even catches up. He tracks your movements without meaning to, not in a creepy way, but in a way that shows you've become the emotional center of whatever environment he's in. You may also notice how he listens to you differently. When you speak, his whole posture changes. His shoulders angle toward you. His feet point in your direction. His phone gets forgotten in his hand. Distractions fade. It's as if the atmosphere around him narrows and locks in on your presence. He's not just hearing you, he's absorbing you. And here's the part he'll never admit. Even when he pretends to be calm, he's evaluating everything you say with more weight than he gives to anyone else's words. Your opinions matter to him. Your reactions matter to him. The smallest details you share stick to him like emotional Velcro, and he revisits them when you're not around. If he's in a group setting, watch the contrast. He may appear social, confident, or relaxed around others, but the moment you speak, his attention shifts. He laughs more genuinely at your jokes. He responds faster to your comments. He tunes out background noise just to catch what you're saying. This kind of focus isn't casual interest. It's not what a man does when he simply thinks you're nice or fun. This is instinctive, involuntary attention, the kind that happens when he's trying not to show you how much he feels, but his mind and body betray him anyway. When a man's attention becomes that sharp, that selective, and that consistently drawn to you, he's already far more invested than he'll ever admit out loud. One of the most revealing signs that a man is secretly obsessed with you is how he remembers the tiny, seemingly insignificant details you never expected anyone to notice. These aren't the big things you emphasize or repeat. These are the small, throwaway comments you make in passing. The things even you forget you said. But he doesn't forget, he stores them away like little emotional coordinates because they help him understand you better, and he can't help but pay attention. You might mention your favorite childhood snack while telling a random story, and a week later he surprises you with it. Or you casually complain about a stressful appointment coming up, and he checks in with you the day of without you reminding him. He remembers the name of your friend you only mentioned once. He notices the way you prefer your coffee. He picks up on the tone you use when you're tired, and he recognizes the difference between your "I'm fine" that means you're fine and the one that means you're definitely not. This kind of memory isn't logical. It isn't planned. It isn't something he does to impress you. It's emotional. When a man is deeply captivated by someone, his brain becomes hyper-attentive to the details that connect him to her. He's not studying you. He's absorbing you. There's a difference. Pay attention to how he brings things up. He might say something like, "Didn't you say you liked this restaurant?" Or "How did that thing go you were nervous about?" It always sounds casual, but underneath that relaxed tone is a man who has been paying attention far more than he wants to admit. He tracks the small things because those small things matter to him in a way he can't explain. What's even more telling is that he remembers the emotional context behind your words. If you mentioned a dream you have, starting a project, visiting somewhere, trying something new, he'll recall it months later. He may even encourage you to pursue it, not because he's trying to impress you, but because your happiness has become personally meaningful to him. Men don't invest mental energy into people they feel neutral about. Memory takes effort, even subconscious effort. And when he uses that effort on you, the little things, the quiet things, the easy to miss things, it's a sign that his attention isn't casual interest. It's attachment. It's investment. It's emotional imprinting. When he remembers what most people forget, it's because you've already carved out a place in his mind, and you may not even realize how deeply. When a man is secretly obsessed with you, but trying hard not to reveal it, his communication patterns start exposing him long before he ever speaks his true feelings. He may think he's being subtle, restrained, or perfectly in control, but the way he texts, calls, and responds will always betray what's happening beneath the surface. One of the biggest clues is the inconsistency that still leans toward consistency. He might not message you every hour, but he somehow always finds a way to reappear right when you start to drift away emotionally. It's as if he has this internal radar that alerts him the moment you stop giving him energy, and suddenly he pops up with a message, a meme, a question, or a simple, "Hey, how's your day going?" He doesn't want you to know he's thinking about you non-stop, but he's terrified of losing his connection to you. Another sign is the way he replies to you compared to how he responds to everyone else. With others, his messages might be short, delayed, or unenthusiastic, but with you, he puts more effort into the conversation. His tone becomes warmer. His replies get longer. Even if he tries to play it cool, the emotional weight behind his words is different. He chooses his responses carefully, wanting to sound casual but deeply hoping he keeps your attention. You'll also notice the subtle urgency in how he replies. He may take time sometimes, but when he sees your message, he reacts quickly, quicker than he wants you to notice. He might even start typing instantly, then pause and delete it, because he doesn't want to seem too eager. That moment of hesitation is a dead giveaway. He cares too much about how he comes across to you. And then there are the late-night messages. Men often express their truest feelings when their defenses are down, when the world is quiet and they're alone with their thoughts. If he reaches out during those hours, even with something small, it's because you're on his mind in a way he can't ignore. His communication isn't random. It's guided by emotion, by attachment, by an inner pull he doesn't want to reveal. He may not say the words, but the patterns speak louder than anything. You're the person he's thinking about, worrying about, and reaching for, even when he's trying not to show it. Jealousy is one of the strongest emotional signals a man gives off when he's secretly obsessed with you, but doesn't want to make his feelings obvious. The key is that it rarely shows up in dramatic or possessive ways, especially if he's trying to hide how much he cares. Instead, it slips out in very subtle, almost unnoticeable moments that speak louder than any confession he could ever make. You'll see it in his reactions when you talk about another man, even casually. He may smile, nod, or pretend to be unbothered, but look closely. There's a split-second shift in his expression, a tightening around the eyes, a shorter breath, a forced laugh, or a tiny pause before he answers. It's the kind of reaction that happens when someone feels something they don't want you to detect. He might also ask questions that seem innocent on the surface, but carry more emotional weight than he realizes. Questions like, "How do you know him?" Or "Is he a close friend?" Or "Did you go alone?" are his way of gathering information while pretending he's just curious. He's not interrogating you. He's trying to measure where he stands without exposing his vulnerability. Even more telling is how his mood subtly shifts when another man gets your attention. He may become quieter, more reserved, or ironically, slightly more talkative as he tries to recapture your focus. Sometimes he'll crack a joke or insert himself into the moment, not to compete, but because he can't stand feeling pushed to the sidelines. Pay attention to how he behaves when you receive compliments from someone else. Instead of brushing it off, he might tease you, playfully challenge it, or give a half-serious comment that reveals more truth than he intends. His tone might change just enough to show he's unsettled, even though he's trying to stay composed. And then there's the classic jealous behavior disguised as indifference. He may pretend he doesn't care, shrug it off, or act like it means nothing, but his energy shifts. He becomes more attentive, more present, more alert. It's as if he's silently recalibrating his position in your life. This subtle jealousy isn't possessiveness, it's emotional exposure. It's the part of him that fears losing you before he's even admitted he wants you. When a man shows these small, hard-to-hide reactions, it's because you matter to him more deeply than he's ready to reveal. One of the clearest signs a man is secretly obsessed with you is when he starts opening up in ways he didn't expect or even plan. Men don't naturally reveal their inner world to just anyone. They're taught to stay guarded, composed, and in control. But when you begin to mean something to him, that control starts slipping. Not dramatically, not all at once, but in small, revealing moments that show he trusts you more than he trusts most people in his life. It often starts with him sharing something minor, like a story from his day or a memory from his childhood. But pay attention to how he expands on it. What was supposed to be a simple comment turns into a deeper conversation. He goes from telling you what happened to telling you how he felt about it. That shift is significant. Feelings are the part he usually keeps locked away. You'll notice he begins to tell you things he doesn't tell his friends or family. He opens up about his fears, his goals, his insecurities, the pressure he's under, the mistakes he regrets, or the dreams he rarely speaks out loud. He doesn't spill everything all at once, but he reveals little pieces of himself that matter, pieces that require vulnerability, pieces that he wouldn't hand over unless you held a special place in his life. Another subtle sign is the way he catches himself mid-sentence. He'll say something personal, then pause, almost surprised that he shared it. Maybe he looks away, laughs it off, or tries to shift the topic because he suddenly realizes he let his guard down more than he intended. But that moment of hesitation is powerful. It shows he feels safe enough with you to be real, even if it wasn't planned. You might notice how he brings up topics that show he's thinking about your opinion. He asks what you think about relationships, the future, family, or the kind of life you want. These aren't random questions. They're emotional probes, his quiet way of figuring out whether your world could fit into his. When a man opens up to you without meaning to, it's because you've created a space in his life where he feels understood, accepted, and emotionally connected. And that only happens when he's far more invested in you than he's ready to acknowledge out loud. One of the strongest indicators that a man is secretly obsessed with you is when he starts prioritizing you without even recognizing that he's doing it. This is the kind of behavior that slips out naturally, without strategy or intention. He's not trying to impress you, he's not trying to win points, he simply rearranges pieces of his life because you've become emotionally significant to him. And most of the time, he doesn't fully understand why he's doing it. It shows up in small decisions at first. He'll adjust his schedule to match yours, not because he planned to, but because it just feels right to make time for you. Maybe he stays up later than usual to keep talking with you. Maybe he postpones something minor so he can see you, help you, or simply be available when you need him. He convinces himself it's no big deal, but the pattern says otherwise. You'll also notice that he puts effort into things that aren't normally priorities for him. If you're having a bad day, he checks in more. If you mention something you need help with, he offers before you even ask. If you're stressed, he shifts his energy to support you, even if he's dealing with his own responsibilities. It's instinctive for him to step in, not out of obligation but out of genuine care. Another revealing behavior is how he makes space for you in his future without consciously planning it. He talks about events, plans, or ideas, and naturally includes you in them. He starts considering your preferences when making decisions, even small ones, where to eat, what to watch, what to do. It's not about control, it's about connection. He wants to move in the same direction as you, even if he hasn't admitted it to himself yet. You may even catch him doing out of character things. Maybe he's not the type to go out of his way for people, yet he goes out of his way for you. Maybe he normally avoids emotional conversations, yet he slows down and listens deeply when it comes to you. These shifts aren't random, they're signs that his heart is already leading his actions. Men don't prioritize someone lightly, especially not subconsciously. When he puts you first without realizing it, it means you've already become a meaningful part of his inner world, and whether he admits it or not, his choices reveal the truth. You matter to him more than he ever intended you to. When you take all these signs together, his focused attention, the way he remembers the details, his communication shifts, the subtle jealousy, the unexpected vulnerability, and the unconscious prioritizing, you're not just looking at random behaviors. These signs form a pattern, and that pattern reveals something he might not even be able to say out loud. You've become emotionally significant to him on a level he didn't plan, didn't expect, and may not fully understand. What these signs truly mean is that you've activated something deeper in him, something beyond attraction. Attraction is easy to hide. A man can be physically drawn to someone and still stay distant, controlled, and detached. But the things you're seeing aren't the signs of a man who's casually interested. They're the signs of a man whose guard has slipped, whose emotions have started to take over, and whose actions betray the truth he's trying to keep contained. His attention doesn't lock onto you because he chooses to concentrate. It happens because his mind is naturally pulled toward you. He remembers the little things because your words leave a mark on him, even when he tries to play it cool. He communicates in a pattern that revolves around you, not because he planned it, but because not talking to you feels like a gap he needs to fill. His subtle jealousy isn't about control or possession. It's about fear. The fear of losing a connection he hasn't even fully admitted he wants. And when he opens up emotionally, sharing pieces of himself he usually hides, that's not randomness. That's trust, the kind that only forms when someone feels safe, seen, and genuinely connected. But the most telling sign of all is how he prioritizes you without noticing it. That's the subconscious truth bubbling through the cracks. You're no longer just someone in his life. You're becoming part of the way he thinks, feels, and chooses. All these signs together point to one thing. You matter to him more than he's ready to express. His actions are revealing what his words can't. And even if he hasn't said it, even if he doesn't feel ready to say it, he's showing you again and again that you've already taken up space in his heart. These signs don't lie. They show the truth he's trying so hard to hide. When you recognize that a man is showing these hidden signs of attachment, the way you respond can either deepen the connection or unintentionally push him away. Men often move slowly with their emotions, not because they lack feelings, but because vulnerability doesn't come naturally to them. So when you sense he's opening up, prioritizing you, and revealing interest he isn't ready to admit, the best thing you can do is meet him with steady, grounded, feminine reassurance, rather than pressure or expectation. One of the most powerful ways to respond is to mirror his energy without overwhelming him. If he's giving you more attention, reciprocate it in a warm, steady way. If he remembers small things about you, show that you notice his effort too. Men thrive on feeling appreciated, even for the subtle things. A simple acknowledgement like, "That meant a lot," can strengthen the bond more than you realize. You can also deepen the connection by creating a safe space for him to express himself without judgment. When he opens up emotionally, avoid rushing to fix things or giving heavy advice. Instead, listen with presence. Encourage him gently by asking thoughtful questions or validating how he feels. When a man realizes he can be himself around you, confused, tired, excited, vulnerable, his attachment becomes stronger and more genuine. Another key response is maintaining your own sense of independence and confidence. A man becomes more drawn to you when you show that you value yourself, your time, and your boundaries. When you're centered in who you are, it gives him a safe structure to lean into emotionally. Respond from a place of calm certainty rather than anxiety or neediness, and he'll naturally move closer. Don't be afraid to show interest, but do it in a way that feels light, authentic, and consistent. A warm smile, an encouraging message, or simply showing you're happy to talk to him can go a long way. Men are far more sensitive to emotional cues than they appear. When you respond with softness and clarity, it signals that his efforts aren't one-sided, and most importantly, allow the connection to unfold at a natural pace. When you give him the space to pursue while still meeting him with appreciation and openness, you create the perfect balance, one that invites him to step forward with confidence, intention, and genuine emotional investment. As we wrap up, it's important to remember that the signs we've covered aren't random. They form a pattern that tells you one clear thing: he's thinking about you, caring for you, and emotionally invested in ways he may not even admit. These subtle behaviors, his focused attention, the little details he remembers, the way he communicates, his understated jealousy, moments of vulnerability, and the way he prioritizes you are all pieces of a bigger puzzle that reveal the truth behind his silence. The next step is to observe and respond consciously. Notice these behaviors without overanalyzing every action. Let his gestures speak for themselves while you continue to be present, authentic, and grounded in your own energy. The goal isn't to pressure him into expressing his feelings or to force a confession, but to create an environment where he feels safe enough to naturally reveal his emotions over time. At the same time, focus on your own growth, confidence, and happiness. A man's obsession or deep attachment intensifies when he sees a woman who knows her worth, values herself, and doesn't rely solely on his attention for validation. By maintaining this balance, you're not only protecting your own emotional well-being, but you're also encouraging a connection that is deeper, healthier, and more genuine. Finally, trust your instincts. If the signs are consistent, they are not coincidences. Allow the relationship to develop naturally while staying attuned to these subtle clues. When you combine awareness with patience, empathy, and a clear sense of your own value, you set the stage for a connection that's authentic, emotionally rich, and potentially life-changing for both of you.